Hello, Leo. Elsie here to do a bonus read for you, friends, for the birthday babies. How you doing? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. You got a double whammy today. You got the sneak peek energies, plus you have a bonus read. Thanks for all the ways you've been loving on the channel, Leo. I just want to say happy birthday, give you some bonus energy. Tell me about Leo. Whether you are a sun, moon, rising, Venus, or Jupiter Leo, if you are a sun Leo, happy birthday. There could be something here for you, and maybe there won't be. This is a general reading, and if it doesn't resonate with you, maybe it's just for entertainment purposes. Let's find out what's going on for Leo. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got Judgment. We've got the Seven of Swords. And we've got the Knight of Wands. I feel like the Judgment card is saying that there's something you're going to have to make a decision about. It feels like there is something that's coming up and you don't see it. I feel like it's galloping at you like a bunch of horses, friend. It feels like it's coming in really quick here. So I feel like it's very soon that you might have to make a decision about something that I feel you felt under the surface already. You just didn't think it was going to show up this quick. So I think that maybe this felt like it was way in the distance, but it's showing up sooner than you thought it would. It's a pretty big decision, I would say. It's probably a decision about going on a different path or making a U-turn. It feels like a side quest, or it feels like it's time for you to finally look at this thing that keeps showing up and bugging you and make a decision about it, because whatever's meant for you will never pass you by. It will chase you down until you're so exhausted you just give in and look at it in the eye. So it does feel like this Seven of Swords here tells me that it's something you're unsure about, or maybe it's something you don't really trust. So maybe this has come up before and you're like, I don't know if I trust making that decision right now. But now it's really, I'm going to say it is something that is, the thing is I feel like it's a little bit of an unstable decision. Something that's going to destabilize you financially, possibly. The Ten of Pentacles was on the bottom of the deck. Time, effort, energy, money, your health, something here, a material possession, material wealth, or something that is very long term. It's almost like if I make the decision right now, I'm not ready to commit to something long term right now. Could be a mortgage, could be a car payment, could be a relationship. Let's find out what's going on here. We've got the Five of Swords. Yeah, see, I feel like you're tangled in the mind. What if I take a shot at this and I miss? Like, we've got somebody here who's loading up their bow, and we've got, how many? I'm always looking in the quiver. We got 2 swords in the quiver, right? So it does feel like somebody here, oh, we got 2 swords on the ground. Oh, you've already taken a shot at this. It feels like you've already noticed it, but I don't feel like you've made the decision because of the 2 arrows on the ground, but I think you're ready to take a third shot. Look, he's got that arrow in the bow there, right? So we've got, oh, look at all these swords, man. Look at this. So there's something here that I feel you can't get out of your head. You can't stop thinking about this thing, but the reason you haven't moved on it is because it's not a sure thing for you. I'm going to say the Knight of Wands gives a little bit to destabilization, or I'd have to take a risk, and what if I take a risk and I miss the shot? It feels like there is something that you don't know about this, something you're unfamiliar with, or you don't trust about the situation, and you don't want to lose. You don't want to be frustrated. You don't want to be heartbroken. So I think that you keep allowing this to keep showing up, and hopefully that one of these times you'll be ready to stare it down in the face, right? And say, okay, I'm ready to deal with you right now. Tell me more about this. We have more swords. Look at this. I feel like somebody here is probably an air sign. Aquarius. Look at this. Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. You probably have some of that, like maybe in your sun, moon, rising, Venus, or Jupiter. And this isn't just a sun sign reading. Keep that in mind. There could be somebody here who's an air sign sun, but one of these is their Libra, rising, Gemini, or Venus signs, right? We've got the Ace of Swords here. Something's going to become very clear. This thing here, whatever this is, this thing that keeps coming back around, I feel like you're ready to look in the eye and take a shot at it this time. It does feel like if you don't take a shot at it this time, I feel like you're going to allow it to come back around, but you're going to observe it. It's like, I don't trust the way it moves. I don't trust how quick it's coming. Why are you trying to rush me into this? Like, it feels like something, even though you're a Leo and you're used to going fast, but only after you've made the decision. Once you're sure, then you're going to go. You're going to go get it. But I think you want it to be a sure thing before you decide to make a decision to have a conversation about it. Tell me why the Seven of Swords is here. For Leo, we've got the Six of Pentacles. We've got the Ace of Cups. And we've got the High Priestess. All right. So I think you have a feeling, but I think you've been silent about it. It feels like this probably could work out. The Ace of Cups is here, and the Ace of Cups, this particular one, tells me I didn't expect that this would be worth so much. I didn't expect, like, it feels like a surprise feeling, like the heart chakra pops open and you're like, ooh, I wasn't expecting to feel this kind of way about this. The High Priestess is here. I think you've been keeping your feelings turned off or under the surface, maybe staying quiet about it. But I feel like there's a lot of practical communication going on. You could be in a talking stage with somebody, or there could be like a back and forth. Maybe there's a contract, and the contract says certain things, and you send it back and say, check line 5. I don't think I like the way it's worded. And then they send it back to you. It feels like a lot of practical communication going back and forth until we finally settle on something. And that's when you'll finally, I think, reveal whatever it is that is concealing how you feel. It feels like a little bit of stoicism, but it also seems careful. It seems very strategic. I'm going to say you're being very strategic about not showing someone on the surface how you feel about the opportunity that keeps showing up. It's like it keeps showing up and you keep looking at it from a different point of view, trying to get a different idea of what that might mean practically in your life. It could be that you want to invest in a person, in something, in school. Look at the Six of Pentacles. It seems like it's something that will give back to you as much as you put in, but I think you're being very careful because you don't feel like it's very honest, or you don't have all the details. There's a lot of conflicted energy here in the mind about being up in your head, 8 swords, not thinking about it on a loop. It's almost as if you're in a dark room checking all the corners to make sure you didn't miss something. And it feels like somebody here is really watching intently to see what happens, or maybe somebody's reaction. Let's talk about the Judgment card. Tell me about Leo. We've got the 8 of Wands, we've got the 7 of Pentacles, and we have the 8 of Cups. It feels like I want to run at it. Like, I feel like you really do, that you see like this could be the adventure of my life. This could be a lot of fun. It feels like there is something that is dying to just go forward, like with velocity. But I really feel like you're being practical about it. So maybe you have earth energy placement. The 7 of Pentacles tells me, but how much work is that going to be? Like, it sounds great to build your own house, but if you don't have much building experience, it can be exhausting. So I think that the 7 of Pentacles says, I'm a hard worker and I'm willing to put in as much effort or energy or time or money, whatever it is that I need to in order to make this work. But is it worth it? Because the 7 of Pentacles is being very intentional. So I think what you're not trying to do is throw your time, your effort, your energy. Maybe this works, maybe that sticks to the wall. I feel like you're not trying to do that. I feel you're like, look, I need to know, make a quick assessment. Is it worth it? Is it worth all the hard work? What am I going to have to do? What am I going to have to put into it? Time, effort, energy, money. The 8 of Cups says, is it better that I just detach and walk away and wait for it to come back around next time? Maybe I'll be more prepared to look at it. It feels like it's something that's either showing up quicker than you think it is, or something that seems a little risky. Dog and the man in the boat, right? Dogs can jump into the water at any moment. It feels like a little bit risky, but I think you're used to a certain measured risk. I think you're very brave, and I think you can face it, but I feel like it's something that is coming up really quickly, and that's what you don't like about it. It's almost like it's coming up behind you. It's like you got to have your head on a swivel here. It feels like a bit of a worry. We've got the 4 of Pentacles. We've got the 10, not the 10, but the Death card. And then we've got the 8 of Swords. You see here, right? The 8 of Swords is here. I saw it here. I kind of felt that you were thinking about something over and over again. We've got the 5. I'm just going to show you the way they break this up. They got the 3 swords, right, in the quiver, right? And we've got the 5 swords that are around this. Somebody feels like they're kind of stuck to make a decision because it might be a fundamental difference that we're dealing with. Maybe I don't agree with the contract. Maybe I don't agree with you. Maybe if this is a person, we're talking about relationship, maybe we have such different points of view about the world and life. I don't think this will ever work. The interesting thing is that the five swords are here, and we have the 5 swords here. The 3 swords are in the quiver, and we have the 3 swords here. So it does feel like you are watching, observing, before you make your decision, and that's why you're in this 8 of Swords energy up in your head. The Death card is here. You are eventually going to get out of this energy and decide whether it's worth transforming for. If it's worth transforming for, like maybe you'll change your ways or change the way you think about something. But the 4 of Pentacles is here. Until then, I'm really got a death grip on my point of view. I don't intend on coming over to your side of the fence. The 4 of Pentacles is shut off, shut down. I'm not sharing with you. If you're not going to listen to me with practical energy, because honestly, I feel like you're being very practical, Leo, about the risk that you'll have to take in order to be able to accomplish what it is, like receiving what it is that you think is worth the energy that you would put in practically with your emotions, your heart space. Begin something, like you're a person who begins something and finishes it. You never really abandon ship partway through. Let's talk about what you got your eye on here. Page of Swords. What are you staring down with the death stare? What's going on here? Tell me about the Page of Swords. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. Maybe you're playing the stocks. I don't know. We've got something here. The 4 of Cups. Okay. So it feels like, again, the Ace of Swords is back, but it feels like this is the planting of the new seed, right? So something that is brand new, it feels like it's solid. It feels like if I invest here, something's likely to grow, but what is that? Will it be boring? Will it end up stagnant? Will it actually grow to its potential? Or will the soil reject it and it'll just die on the vine? It feels like it's a bit of a risk, and I would say because the Knight of Wands is here, it feels like a bit of a risk because it could work out in your favor. Maybe you celebrate, maybe you're happy, but it also could end up in emotional rejection, right? Because we have the 4 and the 3, which is 7. It could end up confusing. Maybe it's an illusion. Yeah, it feels like you're trying to make a decision, a solid decision to invest in something, and you want to make sure that the soil is viable. Otherwise, I don't even want you to waste my time talking about it. Don't give me any more information. If this isn't a viable thing, then don't give me any information. Look, I feel like there's going to have to be a conversation. I don't think this is something you're going to find out from a tarot reader. I feel like this is something you've really just got to sit down and say, look, here are the facts, here are the details. I need to have clarity on what this contract is about, whether it's a love contract, whether it's a contract of money, maybe you're a contractor building a house. It feels like I need more clarity on this before I can make a decision about my investment, because I don't want my investment to die on the vine. I don't want to get so bored with this halfway through that I've got to abandon ship, because that's not who you are. You'll always see it through to the end. We've got the Knight of Swords. Look, if it's worth it, and everything checks out, and you've got the clarity that you need, that it's a go, I feel like you will go at it with vigor. I feel that you will charge at it and decide to release however it was that you thought about it in order to be able to get it. It feels like 2 swords here, 10 swords here. It feels like this is a really important decision. Whatever the swords mean to you, it's a really important decision, a contract, clarity. I need an epiphany. I really need for it to not only look good, but feel good as well. Otherwise, I'm just going to release it, let it go, and be okay with doing that. All right. Woo. So tell me what this is, because we've got this, this is something you feel like you don't trust, feels like something that's under the surface, something that could break your heart, feels like you're up in your head about it. Look, if this doesn't work, I'm just going to move on. 5 and 1 is 6. I'm going to give it a shot. If it doesn't work, if I can't come to a resolution that gives me absolute and ultimate clarity, if anything's cloudy, then I'm not getting in the water. I don't want to get bit by anything I can't see. And so we've got the Wheel of Fortune, we've got the 10 of Wands, and we've got the King of Pentacles. So I think that you're going to move slowly towards something and make sure that there's no obstacles, first of all. The King of Pentacles is an earth sign, of course. That is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy in a general reading, but Taurian energy, very loyal, very slow moving. I want all the details. I want the analytics. I'm going to stand on a point unless you bring me enough information that helps change my mind because it is matching the data I already have. It feels like there could be some sort of obstacle you're seeing in the distance. The obstacles could be the what ifs, right? It feels like there is a path around the obstacle, like with water. Water is never stopped by a rock. Water is never stopped by a mountain. It blends, right? Like it runs, how can I say? It will either keep moving past it until it wears it down, like erodes it, but it won't let the mountain or the rock stop it from flowing. So I feel like you're like, maybe these obstacles aren't as solid as I think they are. I think that you're trying to build some sort of kingdom, or at least make a stable decision about what is about to change. Look, I feel like this decision-making process keeps coming back because it feels like it's a destined thing. And really, that's the truth about the Judgment card. Whatever's meant for you is going to keep coming back and chasing you down like the lion until you decide what you're doing with it. But the Wheel of Fortune is here, and I feel like you're probably going to change how you feel. You're probably going to change your mind or change your energy about it. Because I feel like you might say, okay, well, then let's not do it quickly. Let's do it slowly so we can go over all the details as we go. And maybe that's the comfortable middle ground. Because the King of Pentacles here is okay to say, bring me more data, I'll change my mind. And the Ten of Wands is like, I just want to drop this burden. I don't want to have to keep staring at it when it comes back. I do believe that this is a really important decision that you're making. It could be, because it feels like once you step over the line, you can't step back, because that's who Taurus is, right? Taurus is going to get enough information, and you too, because you're a fixed sign, you're a Leo, right? You're going to go at it slow. And I see this in my son. My son is a Leo as well. I've told you guys before that I'm going to not make the decision until I have all of the data. I'm going to go really slow up to the gates, and then I'm going to go out of the gates like a thoroughbred and go get it if I feel that everything works out. It could be celebration, happiness. It could be buying a house, getting stability in life with somebody. We do have a Fool, but it looks like it's going to take a risk. And the Fool in the upright is an educated risk at that. Look, you've got a lot of swords here. You're thinking about it. You won't take a risk that is not an educated risk. But I feel like it's a risk nonetheless. And the thing is that you have to be a fool in order to get it, which means that this is a place you've never been before. And maybe it's a bit intimidating. Maybe you've never been a homeowner before. So I feel like this thing is destined for you. You're destined to change. And I know you don't like that word because you don't like anybody to push you into anything you're not ready for. But when destiny shows up, it only shows up when you are ready to change. It's not going to push you into change. It's going to have you drop all of your burdens. Maybe it's a financial burden you're carrying. And it feels like it's the opportunity to drop a burden and learn how to adapt to the situation. Rather than standing at the mountain and yelling at it to move, it's giving you the opportunity to sort of find a way around it here. Because I feel like there's a way around it here, because that's what water would do, would adapt, right? All right, one more card here, friend. We have the Empress. Look, it does feel like it is about a lot of abundance. This is going to give you autonomy. For the first time, you're going to be in charge of your time, your effort, your energy, your money. You'll be able to say what you want and liberate yourself from whatever conversation we're having. It's like it gives you total control of something, whether that's your life or your job, or maybe you're building a business. It feels like somebody is wanting to build a kingdom. So maybe it's a big investment, or maybe these are investors that are investing in you. But it feels like this Empress energy, it tells me that you're very responsible with whatever the universe gives you, or you wouldn't be the Empress because the Empress has wisdom. You could be the masculine or the feminine Empress. But I feel like you are somebody who's cautious, optimistically cautious, but you're ready to open a new creative path in your life. I think that you've become bored with just the same old thing. I think that's why you're ready to give some sort of a heavy investment into your celebratory or happy energy. Maybe it's a friend group, or maybe you're joining a group. possibly, but it does feel like it is something that goes from the ace to the king. It makes you the king. That's why you're being so careful. That's why you're holding back until it's almost like transformation forces you into it. That's what it feels like here. Once you stop overthinking, I think that's key. When you stop overthinking, Death card says you will, and you start to change how you see the situation, because the situation's not changing, understand. It's a rock, it's a boulder, or it's a mountainous peak in the middle of the water. You can't change it. You can only go around it. So I think you have to change your mind about how you view it or how you see it. So it feels like you're really excited because this Six of Cups is giving me nostalgia. And the fact that the page is here tells me that when it was here, you were very curious about it the last time. I feel like this is something that keeps showing up. Could be a relationship, could be a job, could be a career thing. Maybe you're going to school. I don't know. But here now, it's time to make a decision. And I think that if you don't make the decision, the universe is going to move you forward. I feel like you're living in some sort of part of your life that's not for you. I think that you're holding everything up as much as you can, but it's taking a lot of effort to hold everything up alone. I feel like you need to make a decision to get to this more exciting path. But it feels like when it showed up last time, that maybe it felt too vulnerable emotionally for you to get into it, because the Ace of Cups is here. I don't know what this is all about, but if you want to let me know, that would be great. Leo, I'm going to let you go from here. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I'll be back because I'm always back. And if you are back, then we'll do this again. Take care, Leo. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.